Welcome to All Things Retreat Podcast. I'm Holly Porter, your host and CEO of Retreat R&R. With over 25 years of experience in designing transformative retreats, I'm here to share insights and inspiration to help you create extraordinary experiences. Whether you're a pro or just starting out, you'll find valuable ideas here. Enjoy the ride. Let's dive in. Hi, everyone. Welcome to the show today. I want you to meet Trey. He's a new friend of mine. You know, when you meet somebody and you just know you're probably going to talk to them more and more in your life because they just stand out. And so Trey's one of those guys. He's a vibrant host of Exploring Places Unknown podcast and on a daily journey of self-discovery and resilience. Trey brings unique insights from his life as a first responder in the medical field. He also is a passionate photographer and has dreams of owning a coffee truck. Welcome to the show, Trey.
Hey, thank you, Holly, for having me here today. I'm really honored to be on your show.
I love the diversity. It's like, let me just throw that out there. I mean, that's so random and really cool because not everybody can say that.
Yeah. I'm a believer of following your dreams. And so that's a big dream of mine, is to own a coffee truck. And I love coffee. So why not make it, So
yeah,
that's one of the reasons.
Huh. What's your goal for that? What year are you thinking?
Well, I actually worked as a barista in an actual coffee shop other than Starbucks. You have people out there that say Starbucks isn't real coffee, but I worked in a local coffee shop and learned about the process of making coffee. And it's so cool. There's different flavors of coffee, kind of like wine.
Yeah.
And that really interested me. So I think just really learning the business side, kind of figuring out how to sell and market your product. And then I think I'll reach out and start doing it. So probably within the next 2 to 3 years, I'm going to really try to get that going.
Yeah. We'll get some mentorship on like business stuff end of it. Cause I know you were saying to me before, you haven't really been the entrepreneur side of things, and definitely there's some things to know about that. So I want to, you're going to be successful. I think that's awesome. I love that little dream. It'll become a reality for you, no doubt.
Thank you so much. And
But for now, you are a first responder. So tell us a little bit about that before we jump into like some of the things that I want to chat with you about.
Okay. So I've been in that field for about 12 years now. It just came from a place of me wanting to help people. I've always been that kind of person. And I think you have to be a unique kind of person to be able to handle someone else's emergency. So I've had, crazy stuff happen in my past and in my childhood, and I've always remained calm. And that's a big factor in determining if this is the right field for you. So I've been doing that for about 12 years and I enjoy doing it. I always try to educate my patients on what I'm doing to treat them, but also when they leave the hospital. That's the most important thing, is creating an environment where they can learn and be successful on their own. So I love what I do.
So are you at a firehouse or ambulance?
So currently right now, I work as a 911 paramedic. So I travel right now within the state of Texas, and I help out with a 911 system because that sometimes can be overcrowded, can be overran. And so they call in extra people to help out with that. So that's where I come in. So I actually have a really good schedule where I work 2 weeks on and I'm 2 weeks off. So it's pretty fun.
Nice. Yeah. So do you stay there for 2 full weeks? Like you're just on call the whole time?
Yeah. They provide an Airbnb, they give me a stipend or per diem, I'm sorry, for food and everything. And I usually work shift work, 12 hours a shift. So it can be pretty strenuous. So I know we're going to talk about resilience, but you work in 14 days straight. If you're not okay up here in your mind, it can drive you crazy. So it's pretty cool.
But with 2 weeks off, I could see you really being able to create that business plan too and get your other dream created as well. That's awesome.
Yeah.
I love that. So you've done it for 12 years. You were doing it during COVID then?
Yes, I
The same
was.
job that you're doing now?
At that time, I was actually working for a fire department, so a little different. But yeah, we saw it all. It was still 911
Okay. So are you EMT or are you paramedic?
paramedic.
Okay. Which means explain that to the listeners, like the differences. Like that means you can do IVs, right?
Oh yeah.
Give medication.
Oh gosh. So yeah, paramedic. Okay, let's start from the beginning. So you have people that can do like basic first aid, which is like, oh, I could wrap a band-aid or a wrap over a cut. And then you have EMTs. EMTs are emergency medical technicians. They drive the ambulance, they can do CPR certified. And then you have paramedics. Paramedics are the highest level within the 911 system.
Okay.
So we're basically the people that are the doctors on the streets. So they call us street docs. So
Right.
we can do IVs, we can give medicine, we can do intubation, ventilators. But yeah,
Oh,
it's the scope of practice is very, very broad. So we're very important piece to helping someone survive, basically.
yeah. So what did it look like for you during COVID?
COVID was an eye opener for everyone. It really hampered the 911 system. We wasn't prepared like we thought we'd be.
Yeah.
The way it spread, the hospitals were full to capacity. We were running calls. I mean, it was nonstop. So, we had to take extra precautions to make sure we were safe. And you're constantly being exposed to COVID. So
Yeah.
that on the back end of that, we weren't able to, a lot of us, myself included, we weren't able to spend time with our families because we're around COVID positive people
Yeah.
and we
You
don't want
needed
them to
to.
get sick. So it was a period of isolation, but we were also just on the front lines. It was a constant. It was crazy.
Yeah. Well, we're going to I mean, this is a All Things Retreat podcast, and this is a little bit different where we're weaving in you as more an attendee. We'll talk about that here in a little bit about attending and why it's a good reason. So we're kind of laying out the groundwork of the reasons why an attendee would maybe benefit from a retreat. But I want to back up a little bit back to your story and tell us about, like, I'm sure it influenced what you do now a little bit too, but when you were a teenager, tell us about what happened to you and how long you were in the hospital and all
Okay.
that.
So I come from a background as a inner city kind of kid, just watching my mom grow up as a single mom. I have two sisters, so I was the only guy in the house and just kind of being a hardhead. So I think at the time she thought the solution was to put me on medication to try to hamper or control some of my behaviors. And so the medicine that I took, I had an adverse allergic reaction to it. At the time, the doctors didn't know what it was. They actually thought it was chicken pox, but it's called Stevens-Johnson syndrome, and it's a very rare allergic reaction. It's the worst kind you can get. It's like 10 times worse than anaphylaxis, and it put me in the hospital for about 3 months. My immune system basically decided to attack itself. And they actually put me in the burn unit. I had second degree burns and scars. I can't remember if I was intubated or not. I'm not sure, but I know I was on a lot of heavy pain medication. So during that time, I was like maybe 14, 15. I was like, well, this is it.
Yeah.
So a lot of thoughts ran through my head during that time. I didn't know if I was going to make it. It was just all a blur. And I think from that place, it was really a catalyst for me to really start living the life I want. Even though I was young, I still had that seed planted to really start living and being the person I wanted. I always say every valley or dark moment in your life doesn't have to be bad. It's about what you do with that energy. It's about, what do we build from this, So I didn't use it as a limiting thing for me. Honestly, I'm grateful for it. Now that I look back on it, I'm
Yeah.
thankful I went through that because it shaped me into this person that I am today. So it was crazy. It was a very challenging time. I can't recall if I want to say I did have a near death experience. I can't really remember what I experienced during that, but I do remember being in a state of calm and peace. And yeah, it was eye opening for me.
Yeah. Well, for sure. What do you think mentally, emotionally, operationally that shifted for you to navigate like future life challenges?
It built that resilience, and I know that's a word that's being thrown around a lot. Resilience is what it isn't is you experiencing something and not getting back up. What it is you being able to get back up. Your trials and your things, your problems that life throws at you, they're going to come. It's just, how do we respond to it? And so I think it taught me about perseverance and resiliency to get back up and try again, and also ask for support. A lot of these things that we go through, we don't have to isolate ourselves. There's other people with the same thing. And so I actually joined a support group for SJS, Stevens Johnson syndrome,
Wow.
and found out, okay, there's other people that have went through this and survived. And
Yeah.
so I think that's a big part of it is community and resiliency, being able to get back up and put that foot in front of the next one, and just keep going. Just keep
Yeah.
going.
Do you think that living through that and getting that resiliency at a young age that helped you through high stress seasons, during
Absolutely.
COVID?
Absolutely. I mean, I always say that don't take for granted the things that you go through. Things do happen for a reason, and there's a lesson to be learned. And I think I just held on to that because it was so life changing for me. And I just carried that with me. I know you didn't include this in the introduction, but I also do the Ironman triathlon, which is a very extreme
My
endurance.
town used to host it here. I think they just took it away last year.
Really? Yeah. And so I going through the SGS, I think it shifted my mindset that I could do anything I put my mind to.
Yeah.
And COVID, I had all the tools to really make it through that. So, and I had support around me, and I think that helped.
So what does your daily routine look like now that helps you stay grounded and focused and resilient?
Journaling for sure. I journal twice a day, once in the morning and once before I go to bed. I believe that your day can drastically change from AM to PM, and I'm a firm believer of actually getting stuff off your chest. My biggest thing, especially being a first responder, this is known that we have the worst sleep problems, just being called
Yeah.
at odd times. So my sleep has historically been terrible, and I'm a firm believer of actually getting stuff off your chest. And so journaling is a big part of my day. Also being present when I wake up, instead of grabbing my phone, just how do
Yeah.
I feel? Check in with me.
Yeah.
And that's something I work on with, and including, some form of physical exercise is good. It's not everything. I also like to read every day and learn about something, whether it's an article, watch a YouTube
Yeah.
documentary. I'm always learning something. So I'm not focused on just the physical side. I'm working out my mental side as well. So those are my days, and try to eat something healthy. So that's usually what I do, and it's kept me grounded. So, and another
Yeah.
thing, I have a mission statement, a very big
Okay.
thing. And it's something I read every day. Every single day, I read this mission statement, and it's about who I am and who I want to be. That's very important. So that mission statement, that's what I do. So every day.
Wow. Very important. Yeah. I love the routine part of it because I think a lot of us, it's easy to get out of a routine. And if we can stay in that and that focus and what we do the first hour we wake up is so important. A few years ago, I remember somebody saying, I don't take appointments until 10 a.m. And I was just thinking, whoa, how do you do that, with your day? And I do that now. Like I just don't schedule anyone before 10 a.m. I'm a lot slower than I used to be too with my long COVID stuff. But I used to get up at 5 a.m. to get in my hyperbaric because of my lungs. And I felt like that saved my lungs. enough to the point where I don't have to do that anymore, which has kind of made me a little lazier in the mornings, I have to admit. So I need to just like replace that with a little different of a routine than what it's been looking like. Winter's hard. When it's cold, I don't do well in the cold. So I like want to stay in bed where it's nice and toasty and have my little heating pad if I need it. I love routine. So I love that you're doing that. And I want to say, for our listeners listening, these mostly retreat leaders, wouldn't Trey be like somebody you would love to have at your retreat? He's like someone that you don't even have to all mold or anything. He just would come in. He'd probably fit in great with the group. And I can see that. But you actually attended a retreat. I'd like you to share that experience with us.
Yeah. So being a first responder, they really started to look into the mental health of first responders. For a long time, it was like you don't want to talk to somebody about your problems. It was kind of like this weird thing. And they're like, oh, you need to be tough and blah, blah, blah. That's just not it. I mean, you're seeing so much, you're dealing with so much. I've always been the person to talk about how I feel and how I'm experiencing things. And I reached out. And so they had this retreat for first responders where you work with horses and animals. And that really opened my eyes, just working with animals. And it showed me that there's support out there. There's a community of people that are willing to help. And it was something away from the norm. Being able to go somewhere for a week or two is great. Sometimes you need to be out of your environment and so you can really get the information and heal and do all those things. So I was working with the animals, and I remember the horse I was paired with was named Bully. That was his name. He was a retired racehorse. And before you actually walk out there in the pasture, they tell you, this about this horse or that horse or this horse. And what was cool about Bully is that Bully never ran up to anyone, ever. Out of all the people, Bully came up to me, and he's this gigantic horse.
Wow.
And he just taught me about presence. And, if you know anything about horses are very intuitive. They're very
Yeah.
aware. They pick up on energy. And so it taught me about being present. And this was years ago. And I think that's one of the reasons why I wake up and try to be present with myself.
Yeah.
But I did work with Bully, and it was a great bond. And the retreat was fantastic. The people there were amazing. The food, the environment, it was a healing thing that I needed. And so I'm so grateful for that.
So you appreciate, I'm sure, what all these retreat leaders out there are doing for other people to have those experiences, then I'm sure.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Have you ever considered about having, I think it would be a great retreat to do for you to host your own with first responders. I think that would
Whoa.
be you got to consider that. We'll have to chat about that.
Yeah, I would love to do that. I
That'd be
feel like God is just bringing me into that place,
Yeah.
not to just hold on to everything, but to share it. There's people that are going to listen to me and you. Yeah, that's something I would love to do. It's not even something I'm interested in. It's something I would love to do.
Yeah. That'd be great. We'll have to chat about that. Oh my gosh, our podcast goes so fast. I know I was letting you know how fast time goes. But I want to ask you, like, moving in to your goals into 2026, what's on the horizon for you? Like, what are you hoping for?
Definitely really grow into that entrepreneurship, learn about the ins and outs of a business as it pertains to finances. I think I'm at a place where I'm mature enough to handle it. I think I have a lot of wisdom for that. So to find some kind of mentorship and really soak in all that information is something I want. To grow my podcast even more. I'm doing pretty well with my show, but to continue doing that and be a guest on other people's shows is on my list. So, yeah, well, let's see here. We could talk about the races that I'm doing. I'm still doing the Ironman stuff. So,
Nice.
I actually have an Ironman race coming up in a couple months. And that's pretty much it. Really just make sure I'm grounded, create boundaries. Healthy boundaries is a big one, and pour back into people. That's my goal for 2026.
I'm going to challenge you to go on someone's retreat in 2026 and really lean into doing
watching what's going on and doing your own. I think you'd be a great retreat leader. And
Wow.
I hope everyone listening is feeling into like the opposite side. Usually we're talking about people that is helping you with business. And this is obviously an attendee's helping you with business, but I'm just saying, hearing it from a little bit different of a perspective of what somebody that would be an attendee would come to. And, you hear a lot more about women doing retreats than men, but they're so needed. There's a lot of men who would go on retreats if somebody would do a men's retreat. I mean, they're getting more popular all the time. So yeah, we'll have to chat more about that, but I'm going to put all of your information in our show notes. So we'll put your podcast there so they can go and listen to your show and subscribe. That's very important, everybody. Subscribe, leave reviews. It's so helpful for shows. You should do it for mine and you should do it for Trey's. But we all need those just to help to get the messages out so we can keep bringing you good guests. And any last words of wisdom?
Just be your authentic self. Be your authentic self. Spend the time to get to know yourself, number one. And follow your intuition. Follow your heart, and create good habits. Some things take time to change. Not everything's instant. And create an actual plan, and I think you'll find success.
Absolutely. You'll find success when you have a plan. I love that.
Thank you.
All right. Well, thanks for joining us today, and we'll see everybody on the next show.
Thanks,
Bye for
Holly.
now.
Bye-bye.
Thank for joining us on this episode of All Things Retreat. We hope you're leaving with new ideas, fresh inspiration, and the motivation to take your retreats to the next level. Don't forget to subscribe and leave us a review. It helps us grow and reach more retreat leaders like you. And if you have any questions, topics you'd like us to cover, or just want to say hello, send us an email at info@weretreatrnr.com. Follow us on social media to stay connected and catch all the latest updates. Until next time, remember, great retreats start with great intentions. Let's make them extraordinary, one step at a time. Thinking about hosting a retreat? Before you dive in, let's make sure you're really ready. Grab your free Are You Retreat Ready checklist and find out if you've got everything in place, from your purpose and pricing to your audience and agenda. Don't guess, get clear. This quick checklist will show you exactly where you stand and what you need to make your retreat a success. Click the link below in the show notes to grab your gift and take the first step toward hosting with confidence.